Hey, good morning, everybody. I was about to get on here and talk about not having your day consumed by this whole Jeffrey Epstein shit, right? I was gonna be like, nope, don't get your day going this way. Don't start tripping and all that, right? But then I found my man had some crazy ass lyrics in the song, and everybody who knows me, that's my friends, they know that I love Marilyn Manson, right? And so, do I use the word love Marilyn Manson a little bit less now? I was listening to one of his songs this morning, and the song is called Saturnalia. And one of the lyrics, he says, I was invited to eat the young. I was invited to eat the young. And I'm like, oh my God, was this motherfucker over at Epstein Island too? Like, damn, maybe that chick was right. If we look at it and we start arresting everybody, the whole system would collapse because maybe every motherfucker up in here that's entertaining us is behind this shit or into this shit, right? So, like, what do you do? Do you give up? Do you just like, okay, well, I'm not going to like Marilyn Manson no more. I'm not going to like, whoever these people are, that they're saying, right? Because you got to remember the whole world is a fucking stage. Everything, you don't know what's real and what's not. And so all these actors, man, everybody's a fucking actor. So, I'm not saying the girl Britney Spears may not have some emotional issues, but maybe she's an actor, right? Maybe, P. Diddy, he's an actor. Everybody's playing a role and getting paid, and we don't know. As Goyim, right? Maybe we are just dragging along for the fucking ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna check? How you gonna check to see if P. Diddy is really in jail or somebody is paying the penalty for what they're doing? There's no way to check. So how do you know? Right? How do we know who's really in the files? Right? How do we know, man? We don't know. So, we really have to look at like what is really going on. What are we going to do? Are we going to say like the whole system's fucked up now? Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. But this is how it is, right? So now what are we going to do? You realize that everybody says that Jewish people are in charge and Jewish people run this and Jewish people run that. Well, if that's the case, we have to remember as Goyim that the Jewish people were in captivity in Babylon for 70 years. So there's no way to think that some of those customs in Babylon didn't go with them when they got out. You know what I'm saying? And so if they are running the world as people say, there's going to be some of that influence of Babylon up in this motherfucker. And I don't know. What do you see? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you see? So if we are in Babylon, hey, man, so either you got to get your widgets and get your groove on, or when I say groove on, I mean groove of understanding, right? Not talking about doing no crazy shit. But then at again, I'm not judging, right? Because nobody can judge another grown-ass adult, right? And things do happen. And there's probably a lot of people that are listening to me right now that have been sexually abused, and not by Jewish people, right? Maybe by family members. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't say the Jews are the ones that got this whole thing fucked up, right? Everybody has influence on certain things. Now, Jeffrey Epstein and some of these other people that are involved, like again, who knows? It could be another okey doke situation where, some other shit is going down. But hey, you know what? This is what's up. But you don't know, man. You don't know. And so because you don't know, why or what can you do? You know what I'm saying? That got me tripping today, man. My fucking boy Marilyn Manson up here talking about eating the young. Damn. Now, I don't know. I mean, it could be just for entertainment purposes only. Maybe it is, you know what I'm saying? But damn, I don't know. So am I not going to listen to his music anymore? I am. And I'm going to enjoy it because I like his music. I like Marilyn Manson. And, he's got to deal with whatever he's got to deal with as we go through this life, like we all do. Because I'm not perfect either. You know what I'm saying? My name ain't on that motherfucking list, though. I tell you that shit. Well, then I don't want to say that too quickly because, hey, Photoshop and shit, you never know. Oh, Derek Gallard's black ass was on Epstein Island. I know I wasn't there, but if a fucking piece of paper come up and said my black ass was there, who gonna believe it? A lot of motherfuckers probably would. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we are in the age of having some personal integrity, some personal character, being able to be resilient because people aren't necessarily loyal and maybe they shouldn't be. You know, maybe some people don't give a shit, right? Like, you know, it's nothing personal. You know, I mean, this is just life. And so what was life like back in Babylon? They was fucking, they was doing all kind of stuff back then. You know, if you Google it, you know, you'll find out like there was a lot of witchcraft, spiritism, you know, like a lot of fortune tellers, right? Like we got all that shit going on right now. You know what I'm saying? I like to tell the future and do a little thingy thing too. So what am I? Am I corrupt as well? I mean, I won't think that I am because this is who I am. This is the life that I was given, and this is where I am in this time of stream. So I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with me. There might be a bunch of people that feel this way, and some people that are in religious groups would say, well, God doesn't like you because you like to play with the tarot cards and you like to talk and do all that other shit. But what can I say? God is the only one that can judge, right? And he who is without sin, they say, cast the first stone. So, you know, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. So I just implore you, as the founder of Gazette, motherfucking Goy, wake up, okay? Wake up. It's all good, man. So, you know, you got to be strong. You got to understand who you are and understand like there's no more bowing down. There's no more being weak. There's no more putting your tail between your legs. You have to stand up and understand where you are. You are a human living in a crazy environment, which has always been crazy. You know, if we ever believe that shit like the Brady Bunch, you know, and the Cosby Show and all that shit, that's our fault for believing that. It's TV, it's make believe. They said for entertainment, right? So what the hell do you mean you don't understand? Oh my God, Bill Cosby, oh, I can't believe he did that. Nigga, he just a motherfucking man just like you. And Greg Brady was hitting on the mama and getting that coochie from his mama and his sister on TV, right? So I don't understand, you know, why we are so disillusioned about what time it is, right? Yeah, granted, many people want to go back and be like, oh, well, I want to go back to the 50s and 60s. Nigga, it wasn't no better then, right? People were still fucking, kids were still getting abused, people were still doing drugs, right? But through the razzle and dazzle, you can make it seem like, oh man, it was so great. You know, the wife was at home cooking. She had her pearl necklace on. Dinner was on the table. The husband worked. You didn't have to worry about niggas because they was back over here. You know, you didn't have to worry about Mexicans or Islamic people or anything, right? Because this was the American dream. And I feel bad for a lot of people because the American dream wasn't like it was portrayed. I mean, there still is an American dream, you know what I'm saying? People are getting paid, man, making money by the second up in this bitch. And that's why people are still trying to risk their lives crossing water and going through barricades to get over here because you can get paid up in America quick as hell if they like you or if you sell out. Or if you go and visit somebody up on an island, you know what I'm saying? You got to give up the cheeks probably, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And so people have always been able to look at, okay, the pros and cons of the situation. You know what I'm saying? If you know, I do this thing, you know what I'm saying, then this is the benefit, right? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like homosexuality hasn't been a thing since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people freaking out that two men want to be together or two women want to be together. Please, man. Come on. If it's got a hole, man, come on now. People getting busy up in here. The pornography business is a multi-billion-dollar business. So we can't blame all the motherfuckers in this whole Jeffrey Epstein story. Right? How many of y'all jerk off looking at fucking Pornhub? You know, they did this thing where they played the Pornhub music in a high school and all the kids was like tripping, right? Like shit, that is a whole demographic that know that Pornhub music, right? All the fucking porn that's out here and all the free access to the internet. Come on now. Jeffrey Epstein people bullshit ain't the only thing that's the problem. So it's Goyim, right? We fucking feast on it. We jerk off on it. We fucking love all this shit, right? But then at the same time, we want to take this self-righteous attitude as a Christian. Oh my God, it's horrible. How could they do that to the kids? Motherfucker, there's some Prada shoes that your ass is wearing or some bullshit you wearing that you're still, hurting kids one way or another, right? Nobody gets out of this bitch alive. Nobody. Bob Dylan, or is it Bob Dylan? I think it's Bob Dylan, right? Everybody must get stoned. Everybody. Nobody is beyond fucking foul word, an angry behavior, and slander in here, in this life, right? So grow the fuck up, man. This is America. This is the world. This is 2026, and shit is real. Thank God the veil is coming off, because motherfuckers be believing this bullshit that life is so perfect and it's pristine. But on the other end, just let me say real quick, it ain't the end of the world either, right? So just because there's a new revelation in your mind and in a new revelation of discovery that we were blind to or ignored, doesn't mean that shit's too far gone, right? It still depends on the people, right? So as Goyim, they always say that there's not that many Jewish people in America. So if that's the case, there's not that many Jewish people, then the Goyim make up more of America. So then that means the Goyim need to fucking really stand up and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to change my mind on this, or I'm not going to have a double standard on this, right? I'm going to leave that fucking pork alone. Oh, right? Now, as crazy as they say Jewish people and Muslim people are, them two motherfuckers know not to eat that fucking pork and that ham, right? Not trying to get no tapeworm in this shit, but look at us as goys, man. We got fucking all this pork and ribs and all this stuff, man, that's going on. We eat cheeseburgers with, extra beef, and now they put bacon on it, man. Come on, man. Damn. We can't blame everything on Jews and Muslims, right? Where the hell do we come in to play at all, right? If we're Goyim, we're supposed to fucking be the goy with the oi, motherfucker. Let's go. Let's have some sense. So anyway, I'm not going to belabor it, but my man Marilyn Manson fucked me up with them lyrics, right? I don't know if he was invited. I don't know, right? But at this point in the whole game, we got to keep our head together, man, and fucking show some love and some support to some people, man. I don't give a shit who it is, right? Say something kind to somebody at the grocery store. Give a nigga a nod while you're driving down the street. Be nice to your kid, because young people don't necessarily know what's going on either, man. So if you're freaking out, if you don't seem fucking controlled, or if you're unhinged, what do you think is going to happen to the kids, man? So if you really care about the kids, straighten the fuck up, be an adult, right? Let's handle this shit, right? And let's represent. Man, goy. Goy, goy, goy. All right, man, that was your episode for today. Goy Gazette, Derek Gillard up in here, man, and it's a beautiful day. So let's kick it. Let's be real. Let's be honest, and let's be kind, man, and let's be who we were meant to be. All right? Peace.